Hey guys, Preeti here, and today I have spontaneously decided that we're going to go on a bookshelf tour together. Isn't it so much fun? This is going to be great. I actually only have a single bookshelf, and this is the same bookshelf that you see behind me in every one of my bookish videos, and there are a total of 6 shelves on it, but today we're going through part 1 of the bookshelf, which is the first 2 shelves combined. I have a kind of category for each shelf, so we're going to go through 2 of those today, and I really hope you enjoy them. Also, before we get started, you should probably know that I am not a huge fan of rearranging bookshelves. I'm probably the only book lover who absolutely hates rearranging them, taking them off, putting them in different places. I don't like that, which is why I'm very stressed out right now because, well, let's take a closer look first. This is essentially the 2 shelves that we're going to be going through today, and as you can see, there are a ton of unfinished series on the first shelf, and this is freaking me out. I just recently found a spot for a Conjuring of Light, and I had to rearrange a few things so that fit. Thankfully, all the books I own are now on my shelves, but when the next Throne of Glass book comes out, or when A Court of Wings and Ruin come out, I'm going to die. And also Tiger's Dream, whenever that comes out. That is the 5th book in the Tiger's Curse series, and oh my gosh, I'm just not gonna stress about it right now and just do this really nice bookshelf tour because this is probably the only time I can do it where all my books are actually on my shelves. So let's get started. Alright, you guys know my Harry Potter Funko Pop. He is unsorted in his Gryffindor hat, and this was a Barnes & Noble exclusive, I believe. You guys are probably familiar with the Harry Potter box set. I think this was the 25th anniversary edition, not completely sure, but they're gorgeous as you can see. I also have some more Harry Potter books, but those will come up in the other videos. Here's the A Darker Shade of Magic series and Bellatrix Lestrange guarding them. Of course. I mean, it really fits with the series. She's kind of like a Girl Holland, but worse, like way worse. So yeah, not really a Girl Holland. But yeah, I still haven't read A Conjuring of Light yet. Have to do that. I'm kind of in a book slump. Hence, you get the super fun video instead of a boring book review. Yay for that. Here's my entire Throne of Glass series. I read the series before it was a big thing and before it was the thing to do to read the series, so I'm kind of proud of that. I read it when Throne of Glass had a different cover. Right now, here, let me show you. You guys obviously are familiar with this, but why not? We can go through them. This cover, this is the gorgeous cover. This is like the one cover change that I'm actually happy about because it looks gorgeous. The other one, like, I really like the cover. I was disappointed when I first found out about this cover change, but like, hello, I have come to my senses. I am completely, totally fine. And yeah, if you see me rearranging everything, putting my pop figures back, yeah, I'm a bit of a control freak when it comes to my bookshelves. Of course, we have the A Court of Thorns and Roses and Akamath. So those are gorgeous. And oh my gosh, Tiger's Curse, you guys, you have to read this series. It's the most romantic, the most cross-cultural, and the guy, the love interest, Durin, he is gorgeous. He's super hot, and he's an old Indian prince. Like, he's not old. I mean, like, unless you count vampires as old, but he's not a vampire, by the way. I don't know why I said that. Okay, but it's just really gorgeous, and look at the covers. I think to date, these are still my favorite covers. Here's Tiger's Curse. Beautiful. I will never get bored of it. I think I read these in 9th grade or so, so I've been waiting for the last book in the series, Tiger's Destiny. No, sorry, not Tiger's Destiny. That's over here. We already have that. Tiger's Dream for a long time. Here's Tiger's Quest, the 2nd book. And Tiger's Voyage, which is my personal favorite. Not cover-wise. I mean, it's a gorgeous cover, obviously, but I love the story. And yeah, it's just so much good stuff happens. Like, if you want a book recommendation from me, this series is definitely it. And we also have Tiger's Destiny. These covers, whoever Colleen Hooke's cover designer is just absolutely amazing. Oh, and then we have Outlander, which I bought this when I was into the TV show. I'm not into the TV show, unfortunately, like, anymore. I have to still catch up with it because I started it, but one day. I actually have these little guys, a pop of Jamie and Claire. Okay, these 2 are 2 other Colleen Hooke books. Also gorgeous covers. Again, her cover designer is gorgeous. I don't even know if she uses the same one or like a different person for each series, but wow, this series is not as good. Like the first one, if you like Tiger's Curse, you will like, but the second, oop, Baymax down. And this is the second book, which I kind of hated. I gave it 3 stars. Wasn't terrible, but it was kind of terrible. I also have the Winner's Curse and Winner's Crime trilogy. Well, I don't have the third book, The Winner's Kiss. It was incidentally my least favorite book in the series, but I mean, hey, it's a good series. It's a really good series, and I don't know why I didn't like it as much. Probably because the angst was dying down by book 3. Lady Midnight. This is the start of a new series by Cassandra Clara, still in the Shadowhunters world. I enjoyed it. I have a ship that's probably not gonna happen, and I'm not on board with the main ship, so I mean, it's fine. Baymax, you can come back up here. You can guard these books. Alright, and that is the entirety of the first shelf. If you guys are wondering what the category for the shelf is, it's basically the newer books that I have, the more popular ones, kind of my personal favorites, and also the gorgeous ones. Like, come on, the top shelf of your bookshelf has got to be aesthetically pleasing. Alright, now down to the second shelf. Okay, actually let's start on this side. Well, here's a little panorama, but okay. This Jane Austen series, oh, and this Pride and Prejudice manga, and same Jane Austen. Okay, all of these are not the entirety of my Jane Austen books. I have one more, the Barnes & Noble edition, all the way over here. Gorgeous. If you guys want to see the cover, it's right here. I personally love it. And even more though, I love these editions because one, they're separate, so if I want to read paperback versions of Jane Austen, I have them here. If I want to read gorgeous hardcover copies, they're over here. And there are a ton. This is Sense and Sensibility. I mean, not a ton, there are 7. They have 7 books. Jane Austen, 7 books. Here is Pride and Prejudice, Mansfield Park. We've also got Emma, and I mean, look how gorgeous these books are. They're just so classy, and they really fit with the whole Jane Austen theme. And if you want to know where I got these books, I will leave a link down below. I actually got these from Amazon. It was like $40 or so at the time. I got them as a Christmas present for myself. Here's Northanger Abbey. And last but not least, Persuasion, which I believe was also her last work. Also has quotes on the side of the box. So ultimately, it's just a really gorgeous edition for any Jane Austen lovers. Moving on, we've got this. I don't even know if you guys know of this, but it is the funniest and most amazing thing ever. It is the Pride and Prejudice manga version. And it's just so much fun. You just flip it open and that's Darcy right there. Super dramatic, funny hair, and it's great. Like, oh my, it's so much fun. I finished it in like 3 hours, which is honestly how fast I finish my books too. If you haven't read Pride and Prejudice at all, I highly, highly recommend it, but this is the manga classics version in case you're interested in it. I will leave a link to that down in the description as well, because if you are a Jane Austen fan or a Pride and Prejudice fan, you definitely need it in your life. Here's little Newt Scamander with Pickett. I will move these sweeties over here so I can introduce you to my paperback edition of the Jane Austen novels, because you can never have too much Jane Austen. So, Pride and Prejudice, and these covers are gorgeous, especially if you're into minimalism, but also like just super cool patterns, and it's just really cute. Here's Northanger Abbey, and also the inside flaps. They have the pattern inside of like another book. Like, see, this design is actually on Emma and such. They just like go around like that, and they're just really light. They're called the Vintage Classics, and they're just really cute and just super stylish. So that's always a good thing. I've also got Persuasion and Sense and Sensibility, Emma, and Mansfield Park. I haven't read these paperback versions yet, but I will continually read Jane Austen my entire life, so there is definitely time. This, my favorite edition ever of Hamlet. It is the Signatures Shakespeare collection, and like, I'm not a huge fan of Shakespeare or anything, but oh my goodness, Hamlet. I've been obsessed ever since I first watched the play, and it was like a play in Stratford, Canada. Let me show you the special thing about this. Ready? Are you ready for this? Look at that. It's gorgeous. It's like, I don't even know what it's called, but it's like made out of super thin paper, and like there are like 4 or 5 illustrations like this depicting scenes throughout the book, and they're just so gorgeous. My goodness. If you are a Shakespeare fan, you definitely want this. There are also more books. I just got Hamlet because that's the only Shakespeare story I really like, but wow, yeah, I definitely recommend these. And now, look, it's all Sherlock. Sherlock everywhere. There's Sherlock, and there's Watson, and there's Sherlock hiding behind there. And here are seasons 1 to 3 of Sherlock on DVD. And what was the last one? Let's see if we can read it. Bonus disc. Yay, always fun. I got these as a Christmas present to myself also. I love it so much. Okay, moving on. These two, Frankenstein and Jane Eyre, I have not read either of them, but the books were very pretty and they were on my summer reading list, like summer homework reading list for school one year. I ended up reading 2 very different books instead, but hey, they're pretty. They're on my shelf. I'll read them one day, probably, maybe. We already met this edition of Jane Austen, and of course you guys are familiar with my copy of Fantastic Beasts because I made like 2 videos about it already and I was obsessed. Still haven't read it, still in a book slump, and like every time I go to pick it up I'm just like, nah, maybe later. And I mean, I will read it eventually, it's gorgeous, but yeah. Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, I know a lot of people didn't like it. I really enjoyed it because unlike everybody else, I didn't have super high expectations. Plus, when I was reading it, I imagined the play in my head the entire time. And finally, the last book for today, Nevernight, the UK edition. I love it so much. It's very gorgeous. The one thing I'm not a huge fan of is the fact that the cover, the moon on the back of the cover is blue. Kind of bothers me because, I don't know, the color, it's just like, it's not matching, but it's fine. It's gorgeous. I love it. There they are. Love them so much. Alright guys, so that was my bookshelf tour part 1, the first and second shelves, the super new popular books, and the classic shelves. And I hope you enjoyed that. I had a lot of fun. I know it's not the normal bookshelf tour kind of thing where I stand here and take out each book and show it to you, but I don't like rearranging my shelves. I don't like changing anything. It's a problem. So I hope that did it for you. I hope that was enough. I had fun. I hope it turns out good. I haven't like edited it yet. I haven't edited it. I have not edited. There we go. I don't know why I was having trouble with that.